Yo, what up, you guys? I'm here with another video, and I'm filming this video on the same day as the last video, and I figured if I do it beforehand, it'll take a little bit less time, and I'll have more time to make it better quality, and get it posted at a good enough time, so I have a regular posting schedule. But today we're going to be looking at my manga and comic books, and they're all pretty awesome in my opinion. But I don't know, you might find them interesting too. And yeah, I've been collecting them for a while, so I have a couple, mostly manga, but I have some comic books too. So, anyways, let's get started. Yeah. Let's go. First, we have Holic, and this is Holic number 2. And you probably have seen this manga or this anime. I've seen a little bit of the anime, and I've read the first manga, and it was one of the first mangas I've ever read, and this one is the first manga I've ever bought. So yeah, I've been a really big fan of the series. I'm just gonna read the back to you, read the synopsis, so you know what it's about. A sense of deja vu. Things are familiar at Yoko's wish-granting business for Kimi Hiro Watanuki between the encounters with spirits of nature and urban legends and the irritation with his schoolmate Shizuka Domiki, but perhaps they're a bit too familiar. When Watanuki is plagued with recurring images, he must make a choice, but what will he choose? And has he made the choice before? So basically, he has to choose between seeing the spirits and urban legends or living out a different life. And it could just be one giant circle, so he could have lived it before. But fate always takes his way. There's no stopping fate. And that's basically what this whole manga is about. Next we have Magical Girl Apocalypse. This one's a little graphic. It has some nudity and there's a lot of blood. And this is one of the scary mangas I bought. This is one of the first horror mangas I've read in a while. And it's really good and it has good comedy in it too. I'm just gonna read the back of this one too. Death by a Thousand Cuties. Kogami Key and his fellow survivors have taken shelter in an abandoned shopping mall, narrowly escaping murderous onslaught of the magical girls as they systematically destroy Tokyo. But is their sanctuary truly safe? Unbeknownst unbeknownst to the group, one of them is harboring a parasitical magical girl hell-bent on accomplishing her mission of destruction with nowhere left to run or hide. Key and his companions must figure out a way to fight back against the magical menace. So it's basically like a zombie apocalypse book, but like more anime with more cutesy stuff and like nudity. That's what this is. Just like Day of the Dead and stuff. So yeah, that 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 book is pretty good. Next we have The Never Promised Land, The Promised Neverland. Um, and I've seen this anime, and this is my first time reading the manga, but I've seen a couple episodes of the anime, so somebody recommended that I read the manga too. And this one's kind of a actiony, more actiony than most of them. But I'll just read the back. Life at the Grace Field House is good for Emma and her fellow orphans. While the daily study and exams they have to take are tough, their loving caretaker provides them with delicious food and plenty of playtime. But perhaps not everything is as it seems. Behind the facade of a happy orphanage, the children of the Gracefield house are secretly being raised as food for demons. Determined to save themselves and the other kids, Emma, Norman, and Ray began planning their escape, but their caretaker mom has brought in extra help to keep the orphans in line. So yeah, this is kind of a thriller, kind of like I, Robot or anything like that. There's a lot of different movies and TV shows and books about stuff like this, but this one has its own little twists and turns to it, and it's really good. And I really recommend the anime as well. The the next book I have for you is Black Butler #1 by Yana Toboso. And this is #1, and you probably have heard of this series before if you're on YouTube a lot. But this is my first time reading or ever like interacting with the series. So yeah, I decided to start with #1, and the same person recommended me this. So I'm gonna read the back. Just a stone's throw from London lies the manor house of the illustrious Phantom High Earl Phantom and his master, one Seattle Phantom Hive. Earl of Earl of the Phantom Hive is a giant world of commerce, Queen Victoria's faithful servant, and a slip of a 12-year-old boy. Fortunately, his loyal butler, Sebastian, is ever at his side, ready to carry out the young master's wishes. And whether Sebastian is called to save a dinner party gone awry or probe the dark streets of London's underbelly, there apparently is nothing Sebastian cannot do. In fact, one might say Sebastian is too good to be true, or at least too good to be human. Yeah, and this is one of my favorite mangas, and I won't spoil the whole plot because if I tell you the whole plot, I'll spoil the book, so I won't tell you. But it's a really good manga, and I recommend it. Next, we have mm, Blackbird. Blackbird. This is a one I just picked up just to have, just to read because I was bored, and so my mom bought it for me. And this one is more kind of romantic, more girly. It was in Shoujo B, and I'd never seen the anime, but I've read this manga. I don't even know if it has an anime, so I'm gonna read it back. I don't know if this is a synopsis. There is a world of myth and magic that interests ours, and only a special view can see it. Misoa Har- Harada. Sorry, I pronounced that wrong. Let me start over. There is a world of myth and magic that interests ours, and only a special viewer can see it. Miso Horrenda is one such person, and she wants nothing to do with magical realms. She just wants to have a normal high school life and maybe get a boyfriend. But she's the bride of demon prophecy, and her blood grants incredible powers, and her flesh immortality. Now the demon realm is fighting over the right to her hand or her life. Miso and Kyo have traveled to the Tenji village to end Sho's claim on leadership and of the clan once and for all. Miso knows there will be bloodshed and things will only get worse if this battle draws out. But her attempt to hope thwart the cunning trap locked with Sho with a little hope of rescue. Miso has a terrible choice to make: betray Kyo or die a horrible, painful death. So yeah, she can see things that nobody else can see, and her blood grants powers and such. And they're having this big, huge war battle over her hand in marriage in the magical realm. But she just wants to be a normal high school girl. It's kind of similar to Inuyasha with Kagome in the magical realm. I would compare it to that. And I really liked reading this manga too. I just picked it up just because I wanted something to read, and it was a good choice. Mm. We're kind of almost done. We're about halfway done. Sorry. It's kind of far away. Next, we have the iconic My Hero Academia manga, and I'm really glad I picked this up because I might not be able to get it again. And this is like one of my favorite series ever. So yeah, I've watched like all the anime, and I've read some of this manga, and I really enjoyed it. But I'll read you this part of the synopsis. Middle school student Izuku Midoriya wants to be a hero more than anything, but he hasn't got an ounce of power in him. With no chance of ever getting into the prestigious UA high school for building heroes, his life is looking more and more like a dead end. Then an encounter with All Might, the greatest hero of all, gives him a chance to change his destiny. And this basically goes to the point where they're doing like the episode where they're like doing the exams and they get their hero outfits. This goes from episode one to three basically. Basically, it goes from episodes 1 to 3. And and then we have this book about Log Horizons. It's kind of like Sword Art Online, where they're all trapped in a video game, but it's like in a book form. And sorry, there's motorcycles passing by. Um, they're all like trapped in a video game, and they're separated by guilds and stuff. And let me read the back. 30,000 Japanese gamers awake one day to discover that the fantasy world of Elder Tales, an MMORPG, has that has formerly collect that was a formerly their collective hobby, has become their cold hard reality. Severed from their everyday lives, they confront a new horizon filled with ravenous monsters, flavorless food, and the inability to die. Amid the chaos, veterinarian gamer Shiro gathers his friends, the Guardian, Natsuku, as they assault. Let me start over. 30,000 Japanese gamers awake one day to discover the fantasy world of Elder Tales, an MMORPG that was formerly their collective hobby, has become their cold hard reality. Severed from their everyday lives, they confront a new horizon filled with ravenous monsters, flavorless food, and the inability to die. Amidst the chaos, veteran gamer Shiro gathers his friends, the guardian Natsuko and the assassin Atsuki, and together they embark on an adventure to change the world as they know it. And this book is pretty good. It's just as good as any other book, any adventure book you read or anything. It reads like a normal tale, and it's got video games in it. So if you're interested in video games and reading, I suggest you should buy this book. And and then I have this copy of Shonen Jump, and it has Todoroki, Naruto, One Piece, Bleach, Gen- Genatama, and those are just a couple of good animes. This is an old magazine subscription. This is an old magazine subscription thing where they just showcase different mangas and different animes and stuff, and they let you read an issue, whatever issues they have in the comic at the time, and it used to be really good, and I bought this from a bookstore in town, so I don't know where you'd be able to find this, but it was from a used bookstore. And then I have this copy of Shonen Jump, and it's basically the same the same thing. The same thing, like they show mangas and like different issues of different mangas. Like you can see clips of different mangas to see if you like manga or anything in general. It's just basically like a magazine. And then I have these two comic books. It's Chris the Dark Crystal Creation Myths, and this has like an elder fairy tale pagan kind of thing going on. Nature involves nature and like mystical things, and it's they're telling tales of the crystal the crystal creations and stuff. And let me read the back. A lone wanderer, exotically dressed, strokes the fire, spins an epic tale of adventure, betrayal, and tragedy. It is the legend of Argatha, the world's beloved guardian, and her imperious son Ranulf. It it is the story of gentle Gelfish. It is the story of the gentle Gelfish and the rise and fall of their race. It is the saga of Ursees, a powerful alien visitor who arrives in peace, but who also harbors a dire secret. But most of all, the myth of the bright crystal and how its healing light ultimately is corrupted in darkness. And this, I know, recently just got a Netflix show. So if you want to know what it's all about, you can always check out Netflix. And I really, really enjoyed reading this comic, and the art style is really, really beautiful. So if you ever see this comic around, you should pick it up. And I'm not sure how rare it is, but I don't think I'll ever be able to get another issue. So yeah. And then I have this Avengers comic, and it's called just Avengers, Marvel Avengers. And I don't really have to explain this. This is just an average Avengers comic. You probably have heard of it before, and it's issue number 2 of the Avengers. I'll read the back anyway. The Avengers got bigger, not just not big enough. Now the Earth faces the ultimate threat. The universal creator known as the Builders are coming, and they will destroy anything and everything in their path to even the faintest hope of survival. The Avengers must grow mightier still. They will stand along unpreceded galactic alliance that unites ancient foes, the Kree and the Skrulls, the Shire, and more. But it's the greatest hero distracted in far reaches of space. Earth is claimed by the mad titan Thanos will rage throughout the cosmos with Captain America and his allies in front and center in the conflict. To save the an Avengers world, they will assemble the Avengers universe. Front and they will assemble the Avengers universe. So yeah, basically the world's in trouble again and the Avengers have to save it. So yeah, it's basically a basic Avengers comic. And that's all my mangas and comic books. And I hope you enjoyed and I hope you think about picking up one of these yourself or starting any of these series. And I hope you found it interesting. All right, peace out, you guys. Have a nice day. Bye.